Welcome to episode 65 of the Reality Podcast. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, turn on those bells for all notifications, and make sure you guys are following me on social media. Instagram at your boy Chris YT, Twitter, Chris from Loring, and Snapchat, Chris Most Hated. It is very difficult, and I'm going to sit here and be brutally honest with you people. Don't mind the lighting, because my lamp is messed up, so I have to buy a little lamp, so don't worry about it. It's very difficult to make a top 10 list. You guys voted on the poll on Twitter, which is on my pinned tweet. I said, on the last episode of the Reality Podcast, episode 65, which is Sunday, I forgot to upload it on Saturday because I had a whole bunch of shit to do. So I'm like, you know what, let me just put it on Sunday. Which top 10 of the decade category you guys want me to do? The poll had 4 different kinds of categories. Either moments of the decade, pay-per-views of the decade, NXT matches of the decade, or main roster matches of the decade. 38% of the vote voted for NXT matches of the decade. And that was the one thing I hoped it would not win. It is very difficult to make a top 10 list, and I figured I'd kick off the podcast with my top 10 NXT matches of the decade. Now, I know. Chris, you're making a top 10 NXT matches. You're going to leave off a whole bunch of matches off the list. I know. This list is based on my opinion. The one thing I love about a top 10 is that not only it creates conversation, it also is based on your opinion on what matches are better than the other. I went to the network and I looked at NXT from 2014, just when they first started to do takeovers. From around 2014 to this past takeover, back in Takeover War Games in Chicago, Survivor Series weekend. I've said this back in when I used to do top 10 Tuesdays every single Tuesday. Or top 10 Thursdays. I think it was top 10 Tuesdays. I forgot what I did back then. I say this in every single top 10 video that I would make. It is very difficult to make a top 10 list. Very difficult. This top 10 list that I have right here on my phone is the most difficult list, and I mean this wholeheartedly. This was the most difficult list I ever had to make. Now, when I go through my top 10 from 10 to 6 and then 5 to 1, you people will see why I was struggling so much to make this list. Just that simple. If you guys want, leave a comment down below. What are your top 10 best NXT matches of the decade? This is mine. My NXT top 10 NXT matches of the decade. I'm just nervous right now. I don't know what you guys will think about this list, but like I said, based on my opinion, if you guys want to leave a comment down below, your top 10 greatest NXT matches of the decade, you guys can do so. I'll reply to it, see if it's good or what placement can be somewhere else. Number 10, Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 in a Chicago street fight. That's number 10. Number 9, Aleister Black and Ricochet versus the War Raiders for the NXT Tag Team Championships at NXT TakeOver New York. Fantastic matchup. Number 8, Asuka versus Ember Moon, NXT TakeOver Orlando, back in 2017 WrestleMania weekend, for the NXT Women's Championship. I thought out of the matches that they had at TakeOver Orlando and TakeOver Brooklyn, number 3, I believe, was that year. I think the one that they had in Orlando was much more better, in my honest opinion. Number 7, The Revival versus DIY, which is Ciampa and Gargano. NXT TakeOver Toronto, the first one back in 2016. In a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Tag Team titles. One of the greatest tag team matches I have ever seen between those 4 men. Number 6, Undisputed Era versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. NXT TakeOver Chicago 1 for the NXT Tag Team titles. Fantastic tag team match. Just brilliant. Love it. Just love it. Now we're getting in the top 5. Now, you're probably thinking, yo, Chris, where's NXT UK? Out of the 10 matches that I put here, only one of them, in my honest opinion, only one of them made the list. Just one. Number 5, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn, NXT TakeOver Dallas. Amazing matchup. Fantastic. I love it. It was just brilliant. It was just a great matchup. And on top of it, I think it was Nakamura's debut on NXT back in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. So that's number 5. Number 4. This is a NXT UK matchup. Do you guys think I have either Tyler Bate versus Walter? Maybe Pete Dunne versus Joe Coffey? Maybe Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate? Number 4 on my list, and you guys will be disappointed. I know some people will be disappointed. But if you was to ask me, which of the 3 NXT UK title matches were good? Either Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne versus Walter. Well, I think it's 4. Yeah, 4. Pete Dunne versus Joe Coffey, and Walter versus Tyler Bate. Which one of the 4 do you think is on my list? If you guys voted for Walter versus Tyler Bate at NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff for the NXT UK Championship, you're correct. I'm not going to lie to you, and like I said, this is my opinion. This is my honest opinion. I think out of the 4 NXT UK title matches that I mentioned, with Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne, Walter versus Pete Dunne versus Joe Coffey, or Walter versus Tyler Bate, out of all those 4 NXT UK title matches that we've seen in this decade, Walter versus Tyler Bate at NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff, TakeOver Cardiff. That one was the better match out of all those 4. In my opinion. Because people actually believed that Tyler Bate was going to beat Walter for the NXT UK Championship. People actually believed it. And I was on that bandwagon too. Oh, maybe Tyler Bate can beat Walter. I watched the show 3 other times. It got better every single time I've watched it. Just fantastic. Just great shit. And like I said, there will be a lot of matches being left out. But this is my top 10. This is just my opinion. So that's number 4. Walter versus Tyler Bate for the NXT UK Championship at NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff back on August. Number 3. Now, the top 3 was even more difficult to make than ever before. Number 3, Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia 2 years ago. 5-star classic. That's all I gotta say. 5-star classic. That is the Andrade that I remember. The Andrade on the main roster, I don't know who he is. But Andrade in NXT, delivering 5-star classics against Johnny Gargano, perfect. The match was just perfect. The way that it flowed, the amount of time that they got, brilliant. Just fucking brilliant. So that was number 3. Number 2, now, you guys thought I didn't forget about this matchup. You guys thought that I forgot about this matchup. I bet you people will stay in the comment section. Oh, Chris, what about Sasha Banks versus Bayley at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn for the NXT Women's title? That's my number two. My opinion, that is the best women's matchup that I've ever seen. Sasha and Bayley, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, number one for the NXT Women's title. Fucking brilliant. I loved every single bit of that matchup. And those two women blew the roof off of Barclays Center. They 100% did. I love that match. I loved every single bit of that matchup with Bayley hitting the belly to belly, winning the title. With Charlotte and Becky at ringside watching the matchup. Just brilliant. I loved every single bit of this matchup. Just fucking great. Just great shit. So that's number two. Here's my number one. And I think you guys know where I'm going with this. With number one. Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano. Wait. Was it TakeOver New York? TakeOver 25? Or TakeOver Toronto? Ooh. If you guys voted for NXT TakeOver New York, you're correct. You're smart. Coming in at number one, Gargano versus Cole, NXT TakeOver New York in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Championship. Boy. Now, the funny part about this matchup, the funny part about this show was I loved every single bit, not only every single minute of this match, but every single match, every single minute, every single second of NXT TakeOver New York. I think, in my honest opinion, and I don't care what anybody says, Gargano and Cole delivered the greatest main event in NXT TakeOver history. I don't care what anybody says. I don't give a fuck. And to be really, really honest with you, and I'm going to hit you with some reality, no pun intended, ain't nobody going to argue with me on that standpoint. No one is. Gargano and Cole told a story of how Gargano was outnumbered 4-on-1 and he still won the NXT Championship. Although people predicted the fact that Gargano was going to win the title, it was still a great ending to that matchup, especially on the third fall. I was hearing Morrow commentate that whole entire matchup, and he was just picture perfect. You couldn't go wrong with any other announcer to announce that matchup than Mauro Ranallo. And yeah, I cried. I teared a little bit. Yeah, people would say, oh no, there's no tears in wrestling. Yeah. There'll be some moments there where it makes you cry. At least tear just a little bit. I wouldn't be sitting here and lying to you if I said that I teared up when Gargano won the NXT title. I did. I wouldn't be sitting here lying to you if I said that I didn't tear up when Gargano won the NXT Championship. I did. Not going to sit here lie to you. Now, out of the 3 matches that Cole and Gargano had, New York, 25, and Toronto, New York was the best one. In my honest opinion, NXT TakeOver New York was the best match that they ever had. Now, I know we were supposed to get Ciampa versus Cole, but no, Ciampa and Gargano, but Gargano with the neck injury, Ciampa with the neck, you guys can know how tired I am. With Ciampa going down with the neck injury, it was obviously predictable that Ciampa had to relinquish the championship, having a vacated NXT title until TakeOver New York, which was really, really sad in its own right, but they got the right man winning here in Gargano, so I didn't mind this. So that's my top 10. That's my top 10. If you guys want to see my top 10, I'll tweet it. I'll probably leave it down below in the description. I'll probably leave it there. Down below in the description. If you guys want to see it or not, I'll just tweet it on Twitter. I'm going to go over some news today that I have regarding about this whole Roman Reigns Bray Wyatt match is going to most likely happen at WrestleMania. We got new betting odds on what's going to be the main event at WrestleMania, among so much more, right here on episode 65, right here on the Reality Podcast, on the final episode of 2019. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm your boy Chris. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel on this Sunday, December 29th, 2019. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel. If you guys enjoyed my top 10, if you guys are enjoying the content that I'm giving you guys so far, I mean, I know I've been slacking on content. I mean, can you guys tell that I didn't want to record Raw review? Just look at how the show was on Monday. Terrible. If you guys are loving what I'm doing here on the channel, especially with the podcast and all the content that I've been giving you guys this whole entire year, hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought of my top 10. Also, leave a comment down below what are your top 10 greatest NXT matches of this decade. And also, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to show your support. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on those bells, guys, for notifications. We are 1 subscriber away, and I said this on SmackDown review yesterday. If we can hit 200 subs before the new year, before 2020, I will do a Xbox PSN giveaway for you guys right here on the channel. SmackDown reviews live on the channel right now. Link to this video will be in the annotation above that you see on the upper hand corner of your screen. This is the official home of the Reality Podcast, so make sure you guys are following me on social media. Instagram, at your boy Chris YT. Twitter, Chris from Loring, and Snapchat, Chris was hitting. Like I said, folks, if you guys are enjoying the content, if you guys love what I do right here on the channel, if you guys like what you see on the channel, be sure to show your support. Hit that subscribe button down below, turn on those bells, guys, for all notifications. Let's begin episode 65 of the Reality Podcast right here on the channel for your Sunday, December 29th, 2019. We're going to kick off the podcast here with this piece of information here. SmackDown's viewership went up on the final episode of the decade. Let's see what this does here. Let's see. SmackDown viewership up on the final episode of the decade. World Wrestling Entertainment brought their final episode of Friday Night SmackDown of the decade on Fox this week. How are the ratings, you guys asked? Showbuzz Daily reports that Friday Night SmackDown pulled in 2.540 million viewers in the first hour and 2.337 million on the second hour. That is a 2-hour average of 2.4385 million viewers. This week's number is up slightly from last week's average of 2.414 million viewers. Last week's number was also up from the previous week. That's a good sign as World Wrestling Entertainment and Fox continue into 2020. The Blue brand pulled in a 4 rating in the 18 to 34 demographic for both hours this week. I'm surprised that SmackDown pulled in that number. I'm going to sit here and be honest with you, because outside of the fucking triple threat match that we got on SmackDown on Friday night, what was so good about SmackDown? Yet, there's idiots, there's dumbasses on social media that want to defend the fact that Lacey Evans is good in the ring. If you guys are on the group chat, you guys know where I'm going with this. SmackDown was garbage. Lacey Evans is garbage. She will continue to be garbage. Yeah, people want to say, oh, Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch match at Stomping Ground was a great matchup. On what fucking planet was that a great matchup? From what I remember back at fucking Stomping Ground, I was taking a fucking piss during this matchup. I took a shower during this matchup between Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title. If you gave a fuck about that matchup, you got some serious problems, my friend. You really do. You really fucking do. I don't know how people can defend SmackDown. Oh, SmackDown was so good. If you don't like it, don't watch. The typical excuse. Oh, if you don't like it, don't watch. Oh, if you don't like it, don't watch. I have to watch the show so I can cover it on my YouTube channel and grow my channel. Come on now. I know I've been slacking on SmackDown review, NXT review, Dynamite review, Raw review. I always do Raw review every single week. It's just that this past Monday, I couldn't do the show. I didn't want to. The show is that fucking awful. And on top of that, folks, Raw this past Monday was a taped show. NXT from this past Wednesday was a taped show. I hate the taped shows. You guys will never see me cover a tape show on this channel. Never. Never. But then again, some people is gonna pull out me doing a Raw review when Raw was in the UK. Oh, that's a tape show. Some fucking idiot on fucking social media will probably pull that up. So SmackDown, they went up on viewership. Do you care? No, the show is still garbage. At the end of the day, the show was still garbage. For all you Roman Reigns fans out there, this should be, giving you a funny feeling in your stomach real quick. Spoiler for WWE match on Fox New Year's Eve countdown. Fox and World Wrestling Entertainment are in a partnership, which means pro wrestling will be a part of the network's countdown in 2020. Roman Reigns will be taking on Dolph Ziggler on New Year's Eve, but the match was actually filmed last night. This report was reported on December 28th. So obviously it was reported back on Thursday, I believe. Thursday. Yeah. Yeah, Friday. This was reported back on Friday. Following Friday Night SmackDown on Fox, Roman Reigns and Dolph Ziggler wrestled in a dark match, but it was taped for the show. They worked a standard match with Reigns, winning in the end. Maria Menounos also appeared as a special commentator for the show. She'll be co-hosting the Fox New Year's Eve Countdown special with Steve Harvey on Tuesday. Who in the blue fuck is going to watch that? Who in the blue fuck, in my honest opinion, who in the blue fuck is going to even watch Roman Reigns and Dolph Ziggler? I guarantee you this is a 2, 3, 4, 5-minute matchup, at least. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Speaking of not giving a fuck, WWE Advertising another losers eat dog food match. I heard about this yesterday as I was coming out of work and I was on the train going home. And people were telling me, oh, Chris, they're fucking advertising a loser eats dog food match. Does it involve fucking King Corbin and Roman Reigns? Probably does. King Corbin force-fed Roman Reigns dog food, woof, on Friday Night SmackDown, and World Wrestling Entertainment won't let us forget about it. Oh, you know damn right they wouldn't. World Wrestling Entertainment is already promoting a loser eats dog food match for the SAP Center on February 7th. Now they're promoting another loser eats dog food match at the Rogers Arena on February 14th. Eating dog food will be a very interesting way for someone to celebrate Valentine's Day. Now I know on Friday, February 14th, now I know for a fact what I'm not doing. Not watching SmackDown that night. Now I know for damn sure. It is very interesting to see that the company is booking loser eats dog food matches 2 weeks in a row. Perhaps they will book a third and we'll see this gimmick series end in a rubber match. Nobody would want to see that. Who would book that crap is beyond me. Who would book this shit? Loser eats dog food? Seriously? Woof. These could also be dark matches. If that is the case, then live crowd in Vancouver might have quite a show on February 14th on Valentine's Day. Now, I have the card here, which I'm obviously going to tell you guys to take this with a grain of salt because a lot can happen. Knowing Vince, card is subject to change. Just know. All right, so the promoted matches for February 14th are as follows. Now take this, guys, like I said, with a grain of salt, because plans always change. Daniel Bryan versus Universal Champion The Fiend Bray Wyatt. Roman Reigns versus King Corbin. A loser eats dog food. Plus SmackDown Tag Team Champions The New Day. SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. Braun Strowman, Sasha Banks, Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura, and more. Card is subject to change with a asterisk next to card. Knowing them, and I said this on SmackDown Review yesterday, and I'm still going to stick to my guns on this. They will probably book a Roman Reigns versus King Corbin loser eats dog food on an episode of SmackDown before the Royal Rumble. Or they'll book Roman Reigns versus King Corbin on the kickoff show in a loser eats dog food, and the winner gets the final spot for Team SmackDown in the Royal Rumble. Guarantee you. Roman Reigns will go from feeding dog food to main eventing WrestleMania. I guarantee you that happens. Guarantee you. I 100% guarantee you that will most likely happen. Because why? Because this is World Wrestling Entertainment. People think fucking feeding human beings dog food is entertaining. If you people think that this dog food shit on SmackDown is entertaining, your opinion on wrestling is non-fucking valid. Non-valid at this point. Non-valid. I can't take you serious. If you are entertained with this dog food shit on SmackDown, I cannot take you serious. That right there will automatically tell me how you are as a human being outside of social media. I already know. Fuck that. What else do I have here? Well, I mean, there is a bunch. I have news here on the Usos. Well, before about that, we'll talk about NXT real quick and their viewership from Christmas Day. NXT viewership up from pre-taped Christmas episode. NXT did much better this week on the USA Network. Their Christmas episode also ran without any direct pro wrestling competition because AEW was off on Christmas Day. So obviously NXT was there to take the advantage. Show Buzz Daily reports that NXT did an average of 831,000 viewers this week. That's a nice spike from last week's number. Last week, NXT pulled in 795,000 viewers against AEW's Dynamite, who closed out 2019 with a viewership of 683,000. Next week will be a live episode of Dynamite, while NXT will be pre-taped. We'll have to see how the Wednesday Night Wars continue in 2020. Their next head-to-head live show will be on January 8th. Now, Dynamite on Wednesday has a loaded show. And I can't wait for Dynamite. I cannot wait for AEW Dynamite. I cannot wait. Let me go to the Usos real quick. As you guys know, I think in my honest opinion, I think AEW will do better this week. I think they will. They have to. And let me say this now. AEW has to have a fucking blast to kick off Dynamite. They have to have something crazy to kick off Dynamite on Wednesday night. Because I'm not going to lie to you, the past couple of weeks of Dynamite, I think for the last 2-3 weeks, have been not bad shows. I expect AEW to hit one out of the ballpark on Wednesday night, especially with the card that we're getting for Dynamite on Wednesday. It should be a fantastic show, and I can't wait. Should be fantastic. I can't wait for Dynamite on Wednesday night. WWE making plans for the Usos' return. The Usos haven't been seen on television since after SummerSlam. Jimmy Uso was involved in a rather messy DUI situation. Now that is behind him, folks. Here's my advice for you guys. Don't drive. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. If you're too drunk to get behind the wheel, Simple. Call an Uber. Call an Uber. Just that simple. Those charges went to court and Jimmy Uso was found not guilty of DUI by a jury. While now, WrestleVotes reports that the company has instructed creative to start coming up with something for Jimmy and Jay to do. This is what WrestleVotes tweeted on Twitter on December 27th. Source, and I quote, sources say the creative team was recently instructed to start coming up with ideas for the return of the Usos. They are slated to remain on Raw. However, as you guys know, that means nothing. End quote. The Royal Rumble is on January 26th, could provide a perfect opportunity for Rikishi's twin sons to make their company return. We just might see a comeback of the Uso Penitentiary soon enough. Now, the Usos, in my honest opinion, are one of the best tag teams in the world. Obviously, fucking Jimmy kept making mistakes, and he has to learn like a big boy. Jimmy has to sit there and learn. Listen, you cannot be drinking and driving because you can get someone killed or you can kill yourself. Hopefully, now that he went to court, he was found not guilty, which is good. I want them to come back to this company and just be the best tag team in the world. That's just my honest opinion. Do I miss Jimmy and Jay? Yeah, I do. Maybe the reason why we haven't been seeing Naomi is because of Jimmy and his antics and his actions. Not only Jimmy's hurting himself, he's hurting his brother, Jay, and his girlfriend, Naomi. You can't just, get drunk and shit, get lit, and then go on a fucking car behind the wheel and drive. Get an Uber. Hopefully, I just hope and pray that Jimmy Uso learned from his mistakes and he knows when not to fuck up. Because who knows? Maybe the next time, God forbid, the next time he gets drunk and he's behind the wheel, he can either kill himself or kill somebody. And that's not a joke at all. Drunk driving, it's no joke. Don't text while you're driving. Don't drink and drive and shit. Get an Uber. Simple. And when you're driving, folks, please put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Because when you're driving, your phone can wait until you get home. Until you get to another destination. Don't do it. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. If you're too drunk to get behind the wheel, get an Uber. Or have a friend who's sober as a designated driver to take you home. Simple. Just that simple. I just hope that Jimmy fucking learns from his mistakes and he knows in the future, if I want to have a drink or two or have one too many and I'm too drunk to get behind the wheel, call an Uber. Call an Uber. It's that simple. Andrade winning the U.S. title at MSG back on Thursday. I believe it was Thursday, yeah. It was Thursday. Yeah, I mean, in my honest opinion, the reason why Andrade won the U.S. title was because the attendance for the house shows are really, really low. I heard that the attendance on MSG and the show in Cincinnati were drawing really low attendances. Really low attendance. And I thought about taking Jessica to the show at MSG, but at the same time, like, maybe I should just stay home. Because it'll be too late and shit. I've gone to two of them when they were really, really good. I went to the one in 2012 when Cena and Dolph Ziggler fought in a cage. And then Randy Orton the following year, I think it was after TLC 2013, when Orton defended the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against John Cena in the main event. Which was a really good matchup if you really want to go see a live holiday tour at MSG. Back then, they were really, really good. With Cena and Ziggler in the cage and shit. Yeah, sure, they got some, some comedic stuff, which, I don't mind seeing, but I just don't laugh at it. And then, obviously, 2013, when Orton and Cena fought for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, that was a really great matchup. Although the match ended in a disqualification, I want to remember. But Obviously, they had Andrade win the U.S. title. I think because not only they want to have you guys know, oh, when you guys go to a live show, you can expect the unexpected. And on top of that, with Andrade winning the U.S. title, Ray is most likely going to leave the WWE. Most likely. God, I hope so. So there goes my 2 cents on that. News on Kairi Sane here. News on Kairi Sane. I don't want to make the podcast too long, so I'll give you guys a few more stories here. Kairi Sane returns from injury, possibly revealed. Now, Kairi Sane suffered what is believed to have a bit of concussion at TLC. She finished the match, but had to duck out of some of the closing spots once it was made known that things weren't going as planned. The company will often spread advertisements for upcoming house shows. These can sometimes give fans a clue about what's to come. Now it appears that the company's plan is for Kairi Sane's injury not to take her out of action for too long. Kairi Sane is currently being advertised to be in competition at the January 21st house show in Topeka, Kansas. The advertised match is the Kabuki Wars versus Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair for the women's tag team titles on the line. We'll have to wait and see if Sane wrestles on television before January 21st, but it appears that the company is expecting her injury status to be cleared by late January at least. I've had people. Now, I love Kairi Sane. I love the fact that she was concussed and that she finished the match up. That's what I respect. Listen, you will gain my respect, and I don't wish this upon anybody, upon any athlete, any baseball player, or basketball player, or football player, or pro wrestler. If you finish something with an injury, you have my 100% respect. Because it shows how much guts do you have and how much of the fact that you don't give a fuck and just finish the whole thing. It's a pride thing. It's a pride thing, and I understand that. It's a pride thing. You know, it's the fact that, oh, I'm hurt. I don't want to be a crybaby and not finish the match. So, I mean, it depends on what it is. It depends what the situation is. But the fact that Kairi Sane had a concussion and finished the match up, that makes me respect Kairi Sane so much. Now, people on social media, to this very day, are defending how great that match was between the Kabuki Warriors versus Charlotte and Becky at TLC in the main event. I said it back at TLC Review. The women didn't need to main event this matchup. I would have put Wyatt and Miz with Daniel Bryan's return to end the show. That's what I would have done. But I'm not going to blame Kairi Sane's injury over the fact that the match still sucked. I'm not going to blame Kairi Sane's injury. Injuries happen in the ring all the time. People get injured almost all the time in the ring. And it comes with the territory. But people on social media still want to defend, oh, how the match was great. Oh, how the match belonged in the main event. The match barely had any build. That matchup barely had any build. Are you fucking serious? What is the point of defending this shit? Just stop. The match was terrible. It don't matter how it doesn't matter if fucking Kairi Sane got hurt now. The match was terrible. The match was fucking terrible. The match didn't need to main event the show. It was not terrible. Yet people on social media think, oh, it's the right thing to do to defend the fucking match and defend the show. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. The first hour of TLC was good. Solid. The first hour. But as soon as that second hour hit, took a downward spiral from there. No cap. I'm not kidding. Not kidding. I'll go over 2 more stories and I'm going to get out of here. World Wrestling Entertainment introducing a new announcer on Raw. Samoa Joe was great on commentary. Fantastic. He was fantastic on commentary. But it didn't last forever. It seems as if he was placed in that role to fulfill a storyline purpose. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and Dave Meltzer noted that there will be a new announced team member on Raw soon. Samoa Joe getting put through the commentary table was a way of writing him out of that role. This is what Dave Meltzer said in that quote. There will be a new member, I think it was Brian Alvarez, I believe he said this in that quote. There will be a new member of the Raw announced team for the December 30 show, as the 12/23 show was Samoa Joe's last show on commentary, end quote. Samoa Joe still has plenty of gas in the tank, but he was still great at commentary. Perhaps fans will eventually see his return to the announced team, but right now he's not done in the ring. One thing Monday Night Raw needs, one thing that Monday Night Raw desperately needs, is Samoa Joe back in action. That's the one thing that they need the most. Because I'm telling you, it's insufferable. Like, I'm being 110% serious here. Raw every single week is still insufferable. Very insufferable. But now that Samoa Joe's back in the ring, maybe this adds more legitimacy over the Monday Night Raw. Hopefully. I have 4 more stories left here. I'm going to get out of here. 4 more stories here. New betting favorite for WrestleMania 36 main event has been revealed. As seen on Skybet, there's a new betting favorite regarding what the main event of WrestleMania 36 will be. Next year's Showcase of the Immortals is set to go down in Tampa, Florida, with a whole host of top names being tipped to appear and wrestle. As such, the list of potential main event matches is long and exciting, although there are some which aren't quite as realistic. Now, as we prepare to enter the 2021 match appears to be the clear favorite with bookmarkers. And with the Royal Rumble being right around the corner, it doesn't seem as if we'll have to wait all too long to see whether or not it becomes a reality. Does somebody say reality? The new favorite to main event WrestleMania is Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Hand me the NyQuil, a nice fluffy of the most fluffiest pillows, and a nice blanket. These two men have met plenty of times over the years, but the dynamic of their showdown will certainly be different now, with the Fiend being the central figure in Wyatt's story. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins is the 5-1 favorite, which will likely ensure that Bray drops the title at some point between now and WrestleMania. Whereas Roman Reigns versus The Rock, which was the favorite for quite some time, has now drifted out to 10-1 odds. Wyatt certainly deserves to have have that kind of feature spot, and Reigns has done insanely well to get back to a point where he's considered to be a legitimate main eventer. Whether or not the fans accept this idea, though, remains to be seen. I said this on SmackDown review. I said this on TLC review. Roman Reigns is going to win the 2020 Men's Royal Rumble matchup. And it was confirmed after what happened on SmackDown last night, with Daniel Bryan winning the triple threat match with him facing The Fiend for the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble. There's no question. Now, do I want to see Reigns and Wyatt? No, I don't. And I said this on SmackDown review yesterday. If you're going to book Roman Reigns doing the Men's Royal Rumble matchup, you are going to have 2015 all over again. With how Daniel Bryan was expected to be in the Rumble, didn't enter the Rumble. I mean, he kind of did enter the Rumble. People were expecting him to win it. He didn't win it. And the second Bryan got eliminated, that was when people started to know who was the next guy that they thought would win the Rumble. And that guy was Roman Reigns. They started the entire Roman Reigns agenda. Now with Roman, if you was to ask me, is Roman Reigns now the odds-on favorite to win the Royal Rumble? Yes, he is. Why? Because simple. Daniel Bryan's not in the Rumble. People think now, oh, if Daniel Bryan was the end of the Rumble and not get a Universal Championship match, maybe Bryan would win the Rumble and he faces the Fiend at WrestleMania, which is what I pitched last night on SmackDown Review. You could have booked Daniel Bryan to win the Rumble, have him face the Fiend at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship, and have that story for the next 2 months be the biggest thing on Friday Night SmackDown. But no. You want to give us the Roman Reigns agenda. People are going to see right through it. And that's just a common thing. People are going to see through it. People are going to know, oh, Roman Reigns was, and I'm not going to sit here and bash Roman Reigns. He was booked, I'm not going to lie, he was booked pretty well from the time he came back to, I would love to say, Survivor Series. Well, no, as a matter of fact, TLC. When Roman speared Corbin into the pool of superstars to end the show. You knew. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When Roman Reigns came back from leukemia, he was being booked perfectly. You know, losing matches here and there. Not being shoved down our throats. Good. People were starting to like Roman Reigns. But now when you have Roman Reigns in the men's matchup, in the men's Rumble matchup, guarantee you Roman Reigns is the odds-on favorite to win the whole thing. Guarantee you. But if I was booking this, I would have Daniel Bryan win the Rumble, have him face the Fiend at WrestleMania for the Universal title, and then have Daniel Bryan be the guy to beat the Fiend at WrestleMania. But no, you want to give us Roman Reigns. Like I said, folks, people will see right through it. And as soon as Reigns wins the Rumble, people are going to start booing the shit out of him in every single city, in every single arena he goes to. And if you people don't see that, you're not using this right. You're not using your eyes right. Get your eyes checked, get your brain checked. Open your eyes and use your brain. This is fucking ridiculous here. Alright, I think I'll go with this last story. I don't want to make the podcast too long. Brock Lesnar might not defend the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. Let's see. Brock Lesnar will wrestle again at the Royal Rumble. The issue is that we have no idea who he's facing yet. We previously covered the entire situation regarding the top tier of Raw as they go into the Royal Rumble pay-per-view on January 26th. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that there is no guarantee that Brock Lesnar will actually be defending the WWE Championship even if he performs. This is what Dave Meltzer said on the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and I quote, Brock Lesnar's next match will be on the show. We haven't been told outright it is a title match, but the other option is the Rumble, and the company hasn't put the champ in the Rumble in years. Since 2016. Well, since 2017. Plus, it makes no sense with the Rumble being for the Mania title shot. End quote. It might not make any sense for Brock Lesnar to be in the Rumble match. That doesn't mean it won't happen. Only time will tell what the company does to kick off the next decade. They definitely wrapped up the last one in an interesting way. It makes no sense to put the WWE champion, a world champion, in the Royal Rumble matchup. Now, if you was to have Brock defend the title at the Rumble, who would you have it against? I keep hearing, I'm hearing Randy Orton. I'm hearing it's Kevin Owens that can face Brock at the Rumble. I don't know. But if I was to go with one, I would probably go with Randy Orton. And I'll tell you why. I was watching off the script yesterday. On Saturday's episode, which is yesterday. And JD was saying, that if he was to have a superstar face Brock Lesnar at the Rumble, it will be Randy Orton. And I gotta agree. They have a history. If you go back to SummerSlam 2016, Orton and Brock fought, and they have tension there. There's history there between Brock and Orton. There's history. Remember when Brock Lesnar elbowed Orton to a point where Orton was busted open and he couldn't continue? There you go. Didn't Brock win that match by a fucking TKO? I think so. By a fucking technical knockout when he elbowed Orton in the forehead? I wouldn't mind that. But who would have Brock faced at WrestleMania? That's the question. Who would have Brock faced at WrestleMania? Because if you're booking Roman and Wyatt most likely for WrestleMania, who's Brock gonna face? Who on the Monday Night Raw roster is even legit enough to face Brock Lesnar? People are telling me it's Kevin Owens. Why not Drew McIntyre? Drew McIntyre has been on a winning streak on Monday Night Raw. Why don't you build him up and have him beat Brock Lesnar? Or maybe somebody from NXT. Again, I was watching off the script and I gotta agree again with what JD said. Maybe if you're gonna have NXT as a fucking thing in the Rumble, if you're gonna have NXT be featured in the Rumble, you might as well have somebody from NXT win the Rumble. Pull out Keith Lee. Or maybe Matt Riddle. I wouldn't mind seeing a Matt Riddle-Brock Lesnar match. I wouldn't mind it. I'm watching off the script and I gotta agree with what JD said. Make a new star. Make new stars. Listen, I respect JD's opinion. I do. That was just a great idea. And I gotta give him credit. Credit to JD though on that. Maybe if you have NXT be featured in the Rumble, which I'm hearing that they are, and maybe have somebody from NXT win, and then have Roman win the fucking men's Elimination Chamber. In March? I think it's in March. From what I'm hearing, I think it's in March. There you go. That's what I would do. Maybe Matt Riddle at WrestleMania. But if I was to have an opponent for Brock at the Rumble, put Orton in there. Orton and Brock have history. I don't want to see KO and Brock Lesnar. Even though DJ Storms is telling me, oh, Chris, it'll be a great idea if they put Kevin Owens and Brock Lesnar. KO is not legit enough to beat Brock Lesnar. He's not even that legit to even be in the same ring with Brock Lesnar. I like the idea. I like where he's coming from. But come on. Kevin Owens really against Brock Lesnar? I don't think people want to see that. And then at the same time, if you're putting Brock against Kevin Owens, you're burying Kevin Owens in the process. Why would you want to bury a top babyface on Monday Night Raw? Now that KO is not the top babyface on Raw, why would you want to bury him against Brock Lesnar? Why would you want to bury him? I don't know. So if I was to book Brock's opponent for the Rumble, Orton. WrestleMania, maybe either Keith Lee or Drew McIntyre. Either Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, or Drew McIntyre to face Brock. And mind you, Drew McIntyre did come from NXT. He did come from NXT. Think about that. So there you go. And that, folks, is the reality of things right here on episode 65 of the Reality Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Hope you guys have a great, happy new year. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Raw Review tomorrow. Tuesday, I might not upload anything Tuesday because Tuesday's New Year's Eve and I have plans for New Year's Eve. So I'm going to... Damn it. Yeah, I think I'm going to... Matter of fact, scratch that. Monday, you guys will get Raw Review. Tuesday, early Tuesday, you guys will get throwback pay-per-view review of SummerSlam 2002. And I forgot to shout out Summer for his birthday. because I know his birthday was yesterday. Sorry, happy birthday, bro. You know I love you, bro. You know that I'm here for you no matter what. If you need anything, let me know. Happy birthday, bro. Hope you had a great birthday yesterday, and hope you had the little bit of the bubbly. Hope you did, man. Hope you had a great birthday. Don't get too lit now. Don't get too lit, bro. Don't get too lit. Don't get too lit. Excuse me. But Raw review tomorrow. SummerSlam 2002. Throwback review on Tuesday. Dynamite Wednesday. Maybe NXT Thursday. And then Friday with SmackDown. I promise I'm going to start giving you guys more content every single week. Then the podcast and shit. And then, you know, the whole enchilada, everything else will be good to go for 2020. Hope you guys have a great, happy New Year. Hope you guys celebrate New Year's. Guys, stay safe for New Year's. Guys, that's the end of the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you guys did, leave a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought of the podcast. And also, leave your top 10 greatest NXT matches of the decade. I want to hear from you. Sound off in the comment section. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to show your support. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on those guys for all notifications. SmackDown reviews live on the channel right now. Be sure to check out SmackDown review. Link to this video will be in the annotation above, as you see on the upper hand corner of your screen. Also, guys, this is the official home of the Reality Podcast, so make sure you guys are following me on social media. Instagram, your boy Chris YT. Twitter, Chris from Loring, and Snapchat, Chris Most Hated. Like I said, folks, if you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to show your support. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on those guys for all notifications. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Monday Night Raw review. Till then, I am Chris. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Share the video all over social media. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Monday Night Raw review. Till then, I am Chris. Talk to you guys later. Don't forget, there's a wedding tomorrow.